Jeff Lehmkuhler, Extension Beef Cattle Specialist at the University of Kentucky, and I'm bringing you this week's Beef Minutes. Last week, the UKRM Beef team held a series of meetings in which we were seeking input from our stakeholders across the state on future programs. The program was titled the Beef Extension Education Forum, and we used a variety of online resources and tools to help us gather input from surveys to online webinars. The program started off with requests from stakeholders to fill out a survey asking them a few questions about issues facing the industry here in the state, in their county, and nationally. That ended up resulting in about a 58-page report. We went through those responses and summarized those and categorized those into broad topics, and then presented those in a webinar on Tuesday night. We also had information shared from Dave Maples, the Executive Director of Kentucky Cattlemen's Association, in which he presented the long-range plan for Kentucky, as well as the recently released National Cattlemen Beef Association's long-range plan. We also heard from University administration, as well as Mr. Warren Beeler, and Mr. Beeler shared information in regards to the investment that the Governor's Office of Ag Policy has provided through the CAPE and Kentucky Ag Development Funds to help strengthen Kentucky beef industry's competitiveness and profitability. We then went on and asked folks to consider the issues that were submitted and determine whether or not there were any issues that had been left off. A second survey then was sent out to those participants, and I believe there were more than 160 folks that participated from across the entire state. And they were asked to rank those issues, and we used that ranking to come up with what we felt were the top 5 to 6 issues based on their feedback. As we look at those top 5 or 6 issues, the number one issue identified was identifying alternative marketing opportunities for producers in the state, whether that be preconditioning, direct sales of finished beef through freezer beef or restaurants, retained ownership programs, perhaps through owning those feeders and having them custom fed out of state, as well as other opportunities. Additionally, there was a lot of discussion given the issues that COVID has had on the supply of meat, on expansion of processing capacity here in the state and locally. And then there was discussion about whether or not we needed to consider at this time building a larger plant either here in the state or regionally to meet some of the capacities that we have. Lastly, there was some discussion on continuing education and the need to continue to have educational programs, both for those that are in the industry currently and seeking to continue to adopt those best management practices based on new research that's coming out and better ways to improve that efficiency on the farm and see a little more profit margin, as well as programs for new and beginning farmers to ensure that they're going to be successful in their new venture and get off to the right foot. There was some discussion as well in regards to thinking about beef from the business perspective and the need to make sure that we have a firm understanding of what our costs of production are in our operations and how to try to improve our profit margins by making sure we're managing the financial risks, and that may be through use of some type of economic risk management tool, but also just generally understanding the value of records and record keeping, both from production side with weaning weights and those things, but also from the input cost and revenue side. So we look forward to developing new programs and expanding the programs that we currently offer as well. And we'll use this stakeholder input to work on some new programs to help our stakeholders across the state. Thank you for listening, and again, this has been Jeff Lehmkuhler with this week's Beef Minutes. Have a great week.